"You need to hydrate, babe," he smiled, like poison wrapped in dimples. I lifted the glass, held his eyes, and felt the weight of yesterday when I opened the email. The insurance policy. $500,000. My name, his signature, his game. I kissed him, switched the glasses, watched the sea swallow his smile. And when he collapsed into the sand, clutching his chest like a bad actor in the wrong play, that's when the real show began. The beginning of the end. When we first met, I thought he was the tide itself, pulling me in, steady, irresistible. He laughed too loud, loved too hard, kissed me like he owned the air between us. I wanted safety. He offered forever. I ignored the shadows. The missed calls he silenced, the trips that stretched longer than explained, the way his compliments started to sound like rehearsed lines. I told myself love is compromise. But love doesn't take inventory of your pulse. It doesn't research insurance clauses. The discovery. It was a Tuesday when the first crack showed. He left his phone on the counter, screen up, unlocked. A text blinked. She won't suspect a thing. Just make sure the dosage is right. My hand didn't shake. I memorized the number. I didn't call it. Not yet. Instead, I waited, observed. His sudden affection, his constant offers of food, drinks, supplements, every health choice spiked with an undertone of urgency. He smiled when I swallowed, watched me like a farmer watches his crops. The truth wasn't loud, it was quiet, precise. Then the email came, policy confirmation, $500,000. I stared at the words until they blurred. My name wasn't a gift, it was a gravestone. The shift. Most people cry when betrayal breaks them open. I didn't. I counted days. I traced his patterns. I smiled back at his lies, touched his cheek when he rehearsed his love. I became softer, gentler, the perfect target. Inside, I sharpened knives he couldn't see. I met with a lawyer, quietly, changed my own will, shifted assets, locked down accounts. I planted seeds of worry to neighbors, to friends, whispered he'd been stressed, overworked, drinking too much. Laid the groundwork for the story they'd believe. I bought a second phone, recorded his slips, saved his texts, built a case of whispers, not fireworks. He wanted me weak. I let him think I was. The execution. The beach trip was his idea. A romantic getaway, he said. Sun, sand, salt water, and him. I packed light, smiled easy, wore the dress he loved, the one that made me look breakable. At the beach, he handed me lemonade. Too sweet, too chemical. My hand trembled, not from fear, but from anticipation. I brushed his arm, switched the glasses, let my lips meet his in a soft, obedient kiss. Then I sat back, crossed my legs, and waited. His throat tightened first, then his breath caught. His eyes darted, panic, confusion. The performance of a man realizing his stage had been rewired. "You drank?" he croaked. "No," I whispered. "You did." The collapse. He hit the sand hard. People rushed, voices frantic, waves still crashing like nothing mattered. I pressed a hand to his chest, pretended panic, screamed for help. But in his eyes, before they dulled, I saw it. The realization that he was the one outplayed. The ambulance came too late. Cause of death, cardiac event, toxic reaction. Circumstances, tragic, sudden. Wife, devastated, cooperative, believable. I gave statements, played the grieving widow, let tears pool at the edges of my lashes but never fall. The real show. His phone was mine now, so were his accounts, his secrets, his deaths. I sent the final message to that number, the one who promised him the dosage. Don't contact me again. It's done. I blocked it. I deleted his cloud backups, scrubbed his browser history, set the story in stone. He was a careless man who drank too much, worked too hard, and died too young. The neighbors nodded. The lawyer nodded. The insurance company wrote the check. I wore black, accepted condolences, let women I barely knew hug me too tightly. But behind the veil, I wasn't grieving. I was free. The release. People ask if I miss him, if I feel haunted. I tell them the truth they can digest. Every night is hard. Every morning harder. But the real truth? I sleep soundly. I breathe deeper. I drink lemonade again, cold, clean, untouched by him. Revenge isn't rage. It's patience. It's silence. It's a kiss on the beach with poison on the rim. And when he collapsed, gasping for air, staring at me like I was his last anchor, I finally understood what love should feel like. Not fear, not doubt, control.